9 breakup signs you should never ignore. Relationships can be fulfilling, comforting, and life-affirming, but they also require consistent effort, mutual respect, and emotional presence. Sometimes, however, one or both partners may begin to disengage from the relationship, whether consciously or unconsciously. While not every conflict or change signals an impending breakup, there are certain signs that should never be brushed aside. Ignoring these signs can prolong the pain, create deeper emotional wounds, or trap you in a cycle of dysfunction. Here are 9 breakup signs you should never ignore. 1. Emotional distance becomes the norm. A healthy relationship is rooted in emotional intimacy. When partners begin to drift apart emotionally, it's more than just a rough patch, it's a warning. If your partner no longer confides in you, shares their thoughts, or shows interest in your emotional life, it's a significant red flag. This emotional detachment can manifest subtly at first. Fewer deep conversations, diminished empathy, or a general sense that you're living parallel lives rather than a shared one. If attempts to reconnect emotionally are met with indifference, silence, or defensiveness, it's a signal that the emotional bond may be fraying. While everyone needs space at times, chronic emotional distance is often a precursor to a breakup. 2. Communication turns toxic or non-existent. Communication is the backbone of any lasting relationship. When you notice that your conversations increasingly turn into arguments, end in silence, or feel like tiptoeing through a minefield, it's time to take a step back and assess. Toxic communication includes sarcasm, passive aggressiveness, contempt, constant criticism, or stonewalling, shutting down entirely. Likewise, if your partner shuts down dialogue entirely, refusing to talk about important issues, dodging questions, or ghosting emotionally, that silence can speak volumes. Poor or harmful communication habits don't just disappear on their own. If they become a consistent pattern, they can erode the foundation of your relationship. 3. You're always the one making the effort. Every relationship experiences imbalances from time to time. One partner might carry more weight during a stressful period in the other's life. But if you find that you're always the one initiating conversations, planning time together, apologizing first, or working to resolve conflicts, you may be in a one-sided relationship. Consistently doing all the emotional labor can lead to resentment, burnout, and a loss of self-worth. A partnership should feel reciprocal. If you feel like you're holding up the entire structure on your own, it's a strong sign your partner may already have checked out. 4. Physical intimacy has vanished. Intimacy is more than just sex, it's about touch, closeness, and the physical expressions of love and desire. While all couples experience fluctuations in their physical relationship due to stress, health issues, or life changes, a long-term or unexplained drop in physical affection is a red flag. When hugs, kisses, cuddling, or even casual touches disappear, it can signal a deeper emotional rift. Worse, if your partner avoids physical contact or seems repulsed by intimacy, it's often an indication that they've emotionally or psychologically withdrawn from the relationship. 5. They start leading a separate life. When your partner starts acting like a single person, spending excessive time away, making major decisions without consulting you, or hiding aspects of their life, it's more than a desire for independence. Everyone deserves personal space and autonomy, but a total shift toward a separate life could mean they're emotionally or mentally preparing to leave the relationship. This detachment may also include changes in routines, unexplained absences, secretive behavior, or increased interest in activities and social circles that don't involve you. If you're being excluded from significant parts of their life, it could be a clear sign they no longer see you as a partner. 6. You no longer feel safe being vulnerable. Trust and vulnerability are core elements of any healthy bond. If you no longer feel emotionally safe sharing your fears, dreams, or even minor frustrations with your partner, that's a warning sign. This might stem from previous dismissals, criticism, or ridicule you've faced when opening up. When your relationship becomes a place of judgment instead of refuge, emotional intimacy begins to disintegrate. If you feel like you must walk on eggshells or filter yourself constantly, the relationship may have already begun to break down at its core. 7. Constant criticism or contempt. According to relationship experts like Dr. John Gottman, contempt is one of the biggest predictors of a relationship's demise. If your partner speaks to you with disdain, mocks you, rolls their eyes at your opinions, or frequently points out your flaws in a demeaning way, the emotional damage can be profound. Criticism that's constructive and occasional is normal. Persistent, harsh criticism, especially when laced with superiority or hostility, is not. It diminishes your self-worth and creates a toxic environment that makes emotional closeness nearly impossible. 8. You envision a happier life without them. One of the more subtle yet telling signs is internal. If you frequently fantasize about being single or imagine a future without your partner and those thoughts bring relief or excitement rather than sadness, it may be your mind's way of acknowledging what your heart already suspects. These fantasies aren't always fleeting. If you feel trapped, emotionally stifled, or happier when your partner isn't around, your relationship may no longer be serving your emotional needs. While everyone daydreams, persistent thoughts about life after the relationship should not be ignored. 9. They've told you they're unhappy, and nothing has changed. Perhaps the clearest sign is when your partner explicitly says they're unhappy or unsure about the relationship, and despite discussions or promises to work on it, nothing changes. These confessions shouldn't be taken lightly. People don't always articulate dissatisfaction unless it's been building for some time. When verbalized concerns are followed by inaction or repeated patterns of hurt, it suggests the problem is either too deep-seated or there's a lack of willingness to grow. Repeated warnings without follow-through often precede emotional exit and eventually a breakup. Conclusion: relations are complex, and no one wants to jump to conclusions at the first sign of trouble. However, being honest with yourself about these warning signs can save you months or even years of pain. The earlier you recognize these red flags, the better your chances of either repairing the relationship or exiting with your dignity and emotional well-being intact. Ignoring these signs in the hope that things will magically improve is a form of self-denial. If you're witnessing several of these patterns in your relationship, it's crucial to communicate openly with your partner or seek professional guidance. At the very least, acknowledge your own feelings. They're often the clearest sign of what you truly need. After all, loving someone else should never mean abandoning yourself. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.